All right, good morning and happy Tuesday. Good to see you all on this fine morning. All right, give me a quick sound check and we'll jump in. This week is all about earnings and the Fed. So tomorrow we got the ADP employment report, and then at 2 o'clock we have the interest rate decision, and then at 2:30 we'll hear from JP himself. The one and the only. And then earnings, we have SMCI tonight, and I think that'll be a big one for the semiconductors, NVIDIA, AMD, all the above. And then I believe Amazon is tonight. Yes, Amazon is tonight. So I think pretty big earnings, and frankly, I think we got a market that could go either way. And I say that because things are neutral. Neutral on the big three indicator. So checking out the S&Ps here, we have a big three score of 1. Not very bullish, not very bearish. It is neutral. The big three signals are neutral, and the structure is neutral. Now, we had the initial flush. The daily squeeze broke short. We got the bounce back to the 21 EMA. The key level I'm going to give you, 5150. If they can't get it back above 5150, this might just be a bounce back into resistance. And from here, we could roll over into a new low. So 5150, that is your hourly 200. And again, I think a pretty big inflection point. Now, the futures are down a bit this morning. S&P's down about 0.4, and the NQ down about 0.5. I think a little bit of economic data shaking the tree a bit this morning. And then taking a look here at the QQQ, and it is neutral. Big three score of 1, and pretty much the same pattern. Right, we had that daily squeeze. They broke it short. We've rallied back into resistance. You know, they're making progress, but they're giving back a little bit of that progress here this morning. But again, I think a big part of the next move here for the market could be earnings. So we got Amazon tonight. We've got SMCI tonight. And then I believe Apple's on Thursday. Let me confirm. Apple on the 2nd. So, yeah, Thursday after the close. Now, Apple itself is neutral. The big three score of -1. And then Amazon is a +5. So not a bad score, but, we're looking for an 8, a 9, ideally a 12 out of 12. And I am long and short. I got a little bit of balance. I am long energy. And I like the setup here. We've got this 15-minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour daily, and a monthly squeeze. And what I'm playing here is that monthly chart. Really good structure. All of the labels are green. It's above the trailing stop. Structure is bullish. We got the squeeze, we got the buy signal. And then pretty much throughout the whole sector, it's the same scoop. ExxonMobil has a beautiful monthly squeeze. EOG, great looking monthly squeeze. You've got one in Valero. That one's kind of taken off here. There is one in Chevron, not too shabby, and one in Oxy. So I like the entire group. We have the 105 calls on XLE for the August expiration. So we've got May, we got June, we got July, and we got August. Looking for that squeeze to fire to the upside, kicking off a push towards 105-ish. So we're long energy and we're short the S&Ps. I've got a call credit spread for May expiration with a short call up here at 515. So I've got a little bit of balance. In a perfect world, energy explodes higher, the S&Ps get hammered, and then the other stock we're long is NVIDIA. And for NVIDIA here, I think, again, a big part of the path forward, whether it be higher or lower, could come down to SMCI earnings tonight. Now, the key level here, And it's a decent looking daily chart. They had a squeeze, they broke it lower. You've got two closes back above that 21. We've gone from the early sell signal back to neutral. Big three score of 5, and the key level here, very much like the S&Ps, the hourly 200. So we'll call it 880. If they can take it through 880, I think pretty quickly you're getting a push towards 900. If they can't get it above that hourly 200, then that might be all she wrote here as far as the pop. So I'm long energy, I am long Nvidia, I am short the S&Ps, and then there's a few good-looking setups out there. The only problem, a lot of them have earnings coming up. And the thing with earnings is you can have the perfect setup, right? Great structure, a bunch of buy signals, all the fixings for a push higher, and earnings can kind of rain on your parade. One of them is going to be MSTR, or Moderna rather, mRNA. It's a great setup. You've got a 5-minute, a 15-minute, a daily, a 2-day, a 3-day, and a weekly squeeze. And that daily chart is just about perfect. Above the trailing stop, structure is bullish. We've got the buy signal. We've got a 10 out of 12 for an A+ setup. Even better, you've got that multi-squeeze action. If we go take a look at the 2-day time frame, she is purdy. Take a look at the 3-day squeeze. Pretty bullish. And then the weekly squeeze, we don't have good trend, but it's a bit more of a bottoming formation. So that's one good looking setup. And another one would be Datadog. And I don't think they have earnings coming up. Let me check. Nope, I lied. I have lied to you. They've got earnings on the 7th. So that's cutting it a little bit close. But nonetheless, a pretty good setup. 2-hour, a daily, a 2-day, a 3-day, and a weekly squeeze. And as far as that weekly chart goes, she's perfect. But again, earnings can ruin all the fun. So I'm keeping an eye on the dog. And then First Solar, FSLR. Great looking daily squeeze. They've got earnings on the 1st. So it's a tricky thing when you've got a good setup, and then you've got earnings in 2, 3, 4, 5 days. A good example would be Google. This quarter, Google had a beautiful daily squeeze. Right, good structure, all the buy signals, and they gapped the thing up in a pretty big fashion. You go back to the previous quarter, and Google was a beast. Daily buy signals, a big weekly squeeze, and they gap it down. So it's very much a coin flip. And then jumping over here to Tesla. Tesla had a pretty casual Monday, up about 14%. The key level here I'm going to give you is 190. If they can keep it above 190, they might work on a path for a push towards 200. 190 is your weekly 21 EMA. And they're going to gap down about $7 this morning. So at the open, they'll be back under that 21. But for the first time this year, they're trying to take it back above that weekly mean. Now, frankly, it's not a great looking chart. It's got a sell signal. Structure is bearish. And you got a big 3 score, a -2. It's progress, but it ain't bullish. And then on the daily time frame, again, progress, but it's not a Moderna, not a First Solar. I wouldn't call it the perfect setup, but progress is progress. So step 1, can they keep it above 190? If they can keep it above 190, then I think you're going to drill down to a lower time frame. When we got a big 3 score of 1, it's not super bullish, it's not super bearish. the neutral nature of that doesn't really provide too much clarity. Where you can find your clarity in that situation, that can be on a 5-minute, a 15-minute, a 30-minute, or an hourly chart. So again, step one, can they keep it above 190? If they can keep it above 190, step two, find a good-looking lower time frame squeeze. 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour. You take your pick. If they can print a good-looking squeeze above 190, then I think you jump in, looking for that pushback up towards 200. If they can get it and keep it above 200, then I think they're going to work on a path towards 220, which lines up with our 200 SMA. But frankly, there's much better looking names out there. Big three score of 1, while Google has a big three score of 12. Energy has a big three score of 8 out of 12. And you've got Moderna, you've got First Solar, much better looking names out there. And then for the futures this morning, getting a little bit of a dip. Let's check our signals here. So we've got a 30-minute, a 15-minute, and a 5-minute sell signal. And we have a 2-hour, a 1 hour, and a 30-minute squeeze. So I think this morning, keep your focus on that 30-minute squeeze. All right, pretty basic stuff. They fired that 30-minute squeeze short. And at this point, they're pretty damn close. Maybe a little bit of support down here. But if they fire that 30-minute squeeze short, there can be a bit of that domino effect. 30-minute squeeze fire short. Then they can wake up the 1 hour squeeze. The 1 hour squeeze fire short. Then they can wake up that 2 hour squeeze. So on and so on. Back above 51.50. Then I think it's in much better standing. So 30-minute squeeze and a sell signal. And then on the NQ, check the signals here. And we have a 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute sell signal. And a 4-hour buy signal. A little bit of both. And a 1 hour and a 2 hour squeeze. Let's go check the 1 hour. What do we got here? All right, so we've got the early sell signal. This is something I'm working on for the big three. It's not the official sell signal, but the orange bar, it's pretty damn close. So that would suggest for now, there's a better chance they take that 1 hour squeeze and break it short. If they can get it back above 17,900, they can cancel the early sell signal and then maybe work on taking the bad boy a bit higher. And then we'll check the rut here. Rut down about 1%, and they got an early hourly sell signal. So for now, there's a chance things can go lower today. I think there's also a chance today could be nothing more than a total chop fest. Big earnings tonight. We got the Fed tomorrow. So I think the game plan for today, be patient, be disciplined, and watch your lower time frames. You'll find your clarity in your lower time frames. And that is about it, my friends. Let's go check the dollar. Little pop here in the dollar. And they got a perfect daily chart. Good structure, a daily buy signal, and a 12 out of 12. More importantly, they just fired that weekly squeeze. So the $1 million question is, can they take that weekly squeeze and push price into about 108-ish? We got a squeeze target of 107.70. Typically, strength in the dollar, that's going to put a bit more pressure on the overall market. If you are bullish on the market, best case scenario here for the dollar, They break that daily 21 and they cancel out that daily buy signal. If the dollar can chill out, that'll be great for the market. And then VIX, good old VIX. A little bit of a chill pill here. Big push, 18, 19, 20, 21. I think back under 16, the bulls can keep on trying to make progress. If the VIX pops back into 17, 18, 19, 20, I'd imagine the S&P is a QQQ. They probably go for another leg lower, which would be good for my call credit spread. But all right, my friends, any questions? Throw them at me. Otherwise, I'll let you go here. We'll get through today. We'll see what's up tonight for Amazon and SMCI. And then we got to deal with the Fed tomorrow. Shall not be dull. All right, Darren, so Cisco. Yeah, it's a very clean short. It's a very clean short. Yeah. Let me change this real quick. Time frame, 5 minute. Alrighty, so we got a sell signal on the weekly chart down to the 15. And we've got a squeeze in the sell signal on the weekly down to the 30-minute. You know, that makes for a really good short pretty much from head to toe. Now, the only little problem, and for what it's worth, we shorted Cisco about a week ago, and we took it off for a tiny loss. The only quote-unquote problem, it's a great-looking short at a pretty big level of support. Back here in November, December, back here in February, March, and now again, you know, call it 47.50. If they can break that 47.50, I think pretty quickly they're taking that thing down to about 46. If they can't break that 47.50, then it might be a bit more of a chop fest. So typically, the way I want to trade it, I want to short it right near that 21 EMA, and then catch the flush, then catch the break of support, and then catch that move down to the target. What might be a little bit easier here, waiting for the break of support, and then jumping into a short. If you can short it around, call it 47, you've got about a 50-cent risk, and then take that weekly squeeze. If they fire that thing lower, that can drive price down to about 44.50. 50 cents of risk for about $3 of reward. But yeah, all in all, it's a great looking short. I would have to like it. Another good looking short, I think, is ARK. Old Kathy Woods. And as far as a good spot to short it, I think that's basically right here. Right up under that 21 EMA and right up under that 200 SMA. If we take a look here at the weekly squeeze, if they can break that weekly squeeze short, that calls for a move down to about $36. So again, I think the risk reward makes a lot of sense. Short it around 45. You can cover the short around, call it 45.50. If they break that weekly squeeze lower, you've got a lot of potential downside. So I like Cisco, I like ARK, and then I think the easy short, easy meaning you cover all the bases, is just shorting the S&Ps of the QQQ. I would hold off until at least Apple earnings. If Apple pulls a Google, or even if Amazon pulls a Google, and we're getting a big old gap up, that could help the S&Ps and the QQQ get a little bit of oomph going. A little bit of oomph. And then Claudia, for NVIDIA, I think it all comes down to SMCI earnings tonight. If they can keep it above the 21 EMA around 850, I'll continue to hold the trade. And then we'll find out what's up with SMCI for tonight. My thinking would be, if we get a gap up tomorrow morning in SMCI, I would think pretty much everything in the semis should get a nice gap up as well. So NVIDIA, AMD, Broadcom, AMAT, Micron, Qualcomm, all of these semiconductor characters. But for that trade to work, it's got to take out that 880 level. If they can take you through the hourly 200, I think pretty quickly we're getting that push towards 900. At which point we should take maybe a double out of the call debit spread. But yeah, I think for NVIDIA, I think for the tech stocks, pretty much the whole market, between now and Thursday, it's kind of a hurry up and wait situation. Got to get through earnings, got to get through the Fed, and then we can all take it from there with potentially a bit more clarity. That is the game plan. But all right, my good friends, I'll let you go here. Markets open in about 23 minutes. So buckle up, get ready for some fun. And for those of you in my room, I will see you at 10:30 a.m. Central. And at that point, we'll see how things are going. Maybe look for a few more trades. And we'll manage our NVIDIA, we'll manage our energy, and we'll manage our SPY call credit spread. Thank you again, guys. Have a great day. And I'll see you again tomorrow morning. Same time.